Cuántos años mi Cali aspirar, las penas de la guerra olvidar, olvidar, penas olvidar. Olvidar, penas olvidar, penas olvidar. ¿Cuántas veces podemos viajar en las tierras ajenas, paz tu par, paz tu par, paz tu par, y penas olvidar, paz tu par, paz tu par, y penas olvidar, penas olvidar.
Good afternoon. My name is Ronald Paul, and I am the chair of the JCRC of Greater Washington's Board of Directors and the co-chair of our Maryland Holocaust Commission. Thank you for joining us for our annual Yom HaShoah commemoration. Today's presentation is a sacred obligation. We are called upon to remember the 6 million who were murdered and to honor the survivors and their families who are with us today. This year, in the midst of a deadly pandemic, our survivors have demonstrated remarkable courage, grace, and resilience. I know I speak for the wider community, the entire JCRC leadership and staff, and my co-chair, Albert Bloomfield, when I say what a profound privilege it is to work closely with this wonderful community of survivors. They teach us every day what it means to maintain hope in humanity in the face of darkness and death. Albert, thank you for your partnership in making today possible for our community.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, friends. I'm Albert Bloomfield, the JCRC's new co-chair of the Maryland Holocaust Commission. This past year has been marked by deep suffering and sadness. And despite the new hardships presented by a global pandemic, our survivor community once again found the strength to endure and even inspire. With more community members receiving vaccinations, there finally seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel. We can once again imagine the day when our survivors will finally hug their friends, children, and grandchildren. We hope you find meaning and comfort in today's program, and we hope you find strength in one another to continue building memory and community.
I'm Rabbi Greg Harris from Congregation Bethel in Bethesda. And I'm so appreciative of the JCRC for all of the important work that you do, including bringing us together for Yom HaShoah, this important day of community remembrance. When I was 17 years old, I went on the first March of the Living. I stood at the mass graves at the concentration camps. I imagined the people, the lives, the sounds, the horrors. I imagined the vibrancy, the legacy, the spiritual and cultural richness, which systematically was destroyed. And as a young man, questions emerged for me which continue to define me today, 3 decades later. You see, growing up, Jewish life felt dissected. It was clustered by ritual observance and backgrounds and movements and summer experiences, positions on Israel and other criteria. And today we continue to be too cloistered by these internal markers of identity and community. But standing at Treblinka, and Auschwitz and Birkenau, Majdanek and Sobibor, I realized our internal boundaries of community, who is in and who is out. It was naive in the face of the Nazis' blinding, myopic, and searing hatred of Jews and gays and Roma and political dissenters and so many more. Purposefully, intentionally, systematically, the Nazis and their sympathizers murdered 6 million Jewish people because they were Jewish. Communities were erased without regard of whether men wore peyot or not, whether you studied Talmud or listened to opera, whether you were a student of Martin Buber or of the Rebbe Yosef Yitzhak Schneerson, the 6th Lubavitch Rebbe. We were wiped out. And yet I, a 17-year-old boy, remained to remember these lives and these communities. I stood there pondering how the definitions of community, which I understood at that time, were seemingly meaningless in the eyes of those who hated us, and therefore maybe meaningless in their entirety. Today, I continue to ponder how and why we define community. As a rabbi, I am now part of a larger process which sets limits and extends the embraces of community. And I pray I act with the humility learned long ago as I stood at those graves where Jews, regardless of lineage or practice, creed or observance, they died together as one united Jewish people. I pray we are worthy of their legacy and strong enough today to fight their fight. I recommit myself to understanding why we divide ourselves as Jewish communities rather than embrace so much which unites us. Those whom hate us see us so clearly, and yet we too often cloud our own visions of each other. On this day of Yom HaShoah, I stand alongside you and proclaim Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people live. We are strong, we are vibrant, and we must be united. Today, we mourn a tragedy without measure, yet we also remember the vibrancy of Jewish life, a community that was diverse in religious practice, vocation, and integration into society. So please watch with me some rare intimate home movies, courtesy of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. And thank you for being part of this special community and this special tekes this evening.
Good afternoon. I'm Ellen Blaylock, co-chair of JCRC's Virginia Holocaust Commission. Zachor, remember. Shemuar, guard and preserve. Family, community, heritage, destiny. Today on Yom HaShoah, we recall the terrors and trauma, the pain and loss of the past, but in a circle of light. As the flame of memory burns bright, we heed the commandment to choose life. We rise to write a different history, liberation from hatred and oppression. Our precious survivors teach us their life lessons as we, their witnesses, commit to carrying their memories and passing them on. We open our hearts to those whose stories we don't yet know. We want to hear. We need to learn. And we welcome all of them in our warmest and widest embrace of our common humanity. One by one by one, each life an inspiration and a bridge to generations still to come. We mourn even as we move the world to acknowledge the sanctity and dignity of each person. Our sacred texts echo within us. Shun evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. On Yom HaShoah, we transform memory into a raging fire for justice that fulfills our promise to the past and honors our hope for the future. Thank you.
My name is Vladimir Frumkin. I was 11 and a half when Nazi Germany invaded my country. I lived with my parents in Belarus, in a small village near a factory that produced highly purified alcohol. My father was a technical director of the factory. The wars began on June 22nd, 1941. And already on June 26th, the Nazis were not far from our village. We didn't know what to do. We were in despair. And my father finally ran to a stable, a factory stable, and harnessed a horse, and with 2 suitcases in a cart, we headed east in the dark of the night. We were lucky, but my mother's family was not so lucky. They all lived in the capital of Belarus, in Minsk. They were Yakuboviches, like my mother's maiden name was Yakubovich. There were more than 20 wonderful people, and they ended up in ghetto and perished there. I remember their faces. I remember their smiles and laughters. I will remember them to the end of my life. I light this candle in memory of the Yakubovich family, the father of my mother, her stepmother, her brothers and sisters, and nieces and nephews to Yakubovich family.
My name is Peter Görög. I'm a child survivor of the Holocaust. I was born in Budapest in 1941. I wasn't even 4 years old when the Soviet Red Army liberated the Budapest ghetto, where my mother and I survived. Unfortunately, my father, Grünwald Árpád, and his brother Imre and another brother, László, did not. I light a candle in their memories, in the memories of the 6 million Jews who perished during the Holocaust. Among them were 1.5 million children. These were children who never had a chance to grow up, never had a chance to start a family, to pursue their dreams, enjoy the life and the smiles of their children and grandchildren. May their memory be for a blessing.
I'm Gail Schoenfarber-Nadler. My dad, George Schoenfarber, and my Zadie, Jacob Schoenfarber, survived the Lodz ghetto and Auschwitz together, then were separated when they each were transported to different concentration camps. After the war ended, my Zadie searched for my dad, and they were reunited.
I'm Aaron Joseph Nadler, and I'm named for my great-grandfather, Jacob Joseph Schoenfarber. My sister Allison, whose Hebrew name is Sarah Leah, is named for my grandfather's mother, Sarah Lewinska Schoenfarber, who was murdered, and for my great-grandfather's wife, Leah Fishman Lebenshold, a survivor who he married after the war.
I'm Daryl Isaac Schoenfarber Nadler. I'm named for my grandfather's family. More than 45 of his aunts, uncles, and cousins, along with his grandparents, mother, and sister, were murdered in the Holocaust. All that is left are names on our family tree, a handful of photos of some of our relatives, and anecdotes about them that have been passed down.
Time threatens to steal the imprint of our family's ingenuity and triumphs, and their suffering and loss. We, representing second generations, respond by lighting this candle with the promise to honor our family's legacy, offering permanence through remembering their names and retelling their stories.
My name is Julie Berkowitz-Bajoli. I'm lighting a candle in honor of my father, Rabbi Laszlo Berkowitz, who 2 months ago passed away at the age of 92. At the age of 16, my father was working as an assistant to the head gardener in the Jewish National Cemetery in Budapest, Hungary. He was earning money to send home to his family, living in the small village of Derechka. He was taken by the SS and deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau. After a time, he was transferred to Braunschweig. On May 2, 1945, he was liberated from the Woblin concentration camp by the 82nd Airborne Division of the United States Army. My father had such a wonderful, positive spirit toward life and a deep sense of faith. This led him to lead a life dedicated to Judaism and working for social justice. In this spirit, he created the largest Reformed Jewish congregation in Virginia, Temple Road of Shalom, the Pursuers of Peace. During the course of his rabbinate, he spoke to middle and high school students, telling not only his story, but teaching that all are entitled to human rights and dignity, and the important message to remember and not forget. His spirit and legacy will live on through all the children, students, families learning and worshiping at his beautiful Temple Road of Shalom.
Today, I light a candle to honor Anna Gross, survivor of 2 concentration camps, a treasured member of our community, legendary comedian, and my grandmother. She had intended to participate in this virtual ceremony last year, but was taken by COVID-19 on April 19th, one day before her 94th birthday. I also honor Florence Golden, survivor, beloved member of our community, baker of extraordinary kugels, and my grandmother's best friend. They met in 2002 while caring for their husbands in the Hebrew home. Their friendship, full of sympathetic love and humor, endured until their final days. Though their lives after the war had been very different, Florence and Anna's beginnings and ends were marked by hardship and tragedy. They both survived concentration camps and lived with unflinching bravery as they started over again in America as immigrants and mothers. Some might say their legacy was defined by adversity, but those who knew them will say it's defined by triumph. These women were tenacious, radiant spirits who made no apologies for how brightly they burned. That spirit, the part of them that will remain long after everyone who had the joy of knowing them is gone, is the same spirit that's so often represented in our ceremonial flames. It's the ancient and enduring tenacity that has enabled our people to navigate millennia of conflict and persecution, our Ruach. One of the many tragedies of COVID is not being able to mourn our loved ones and grieve our losses together, to comfort each other and honor their lives as we normally would. This year, more than any other, perhaps those of us so removed in time and place can relate to the profound loss and discomfort that defines Yom HaShoah. I'm grateful for the opportunity to remember them here, like this, with you. Anna's story and first-person interview can be found at USHMM's website.
My name is Benny Sharon, and it is my honor to represent the Embassy of Israel to the United States on this Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. In Israel, the sound of the siren makes us pause, remember, reflect, and learn. I light this candle in remembrance of our 6 million sisters and brothers lost in the Holocaust. May we be unified and together say, never again.
Shalom, my name is Agnes Geva. I'm from Hungary. I was born in 1930 in Budapest. I'm a Holocaust survivor, and I'm very proud to read the annual reconfirmation of the legacy of the Holocaust. We take this oath, we take it in the shadows of the flames, whose tongues scar the soul of our people. We take it in the name of our dead parents. We vow with our sadness hidden, our faith renewed. We vow we shall never let the sacred memory of our perished 6 million brethren be forgot or erased. We saw them hungry, in fear. We saw them in the loneliness of night. We saw them at the threshold of death, true to their faith. We received their silence in silence. We merged their tears with ours. We are the remaining witnesses of deportations, executions, mass graves, death camps, mute prayers, hidden souls, and cries of the revolt. The young, the old, the sick and the poor, the ghetto fighters, the partisans, the scholars and the messianic dreamers, the tradesmen and businessmen, the Hasidim and Misnagdim. Like a cloud, we saw them vanish. We take this oath. Vision becomes word to be handed down from father to son, from mother to daughter. handed down from generation to generation. Zchor, remember, but the Nazi murderers and their accomplices did to our Jewish people. Remember them with rage and contempt. Remember what an indifferent world did to us and to itself. We must also remember the good deeds of the righteous Gentiles. In 1981, we took this oath in Israel near the Kotel. There we handed down a legacy to our children in the shadows of the flames of 6 symbolic candles. Today at this assembly, we reaffirm our oath in the shadows of the flames of these 6 yahrzeit candles, honoring the memory of our 6 million Achenu Bnei Israel, our Jewish brethren. We take this oath, our memory will become words of history of the Holocaust to be handed down from generation to generation, midor l'dor.
My name is Shelley Klein. I grew up in New York, but was born in a DP camp near Linz, Austria. My parents, both from small towns in Poland, met and married in the DP camp. My father and his brother were the sole survivors of their family. My mother was more fortunate, having survived with her parents and one sister. I dedicate this pledge to my parents, but also recite it in memory of all my relatives who did not survive. I will now read the Pledge of Acceptance. We, who are your sons and daughters, belong to a generation in which every attempt was made for us to never exist. We, who represent your victory and your triumph over evil of unthinkable dimensions, accept the responsibility to preserve and protect the legacy of the Holocaust. We pledge to commemorate. We pledge to educate. We pledge to forever remember. We pledge to you, our mothers and fathers, who suffered in ways which words cannot describe, that our commitment is an everlasting commitment for this generation and for every generation to come. We dedicate this pledge to our beloved grandmothers and grandfathers who never lived to see us. We dedicate this pledge to our aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, and sisters who are forever missing from our lives. We dedicate this pledge to all the 6 million Jewish men, women, and children who were so brutally murdered, but who will always be in our thoughts and in our hearts.
My name is Phoebe Grau, and I'm here to read the Pledge of Continuation in memory and in honor of my grandparents, Fischl and Berta Schachner, and Leopold and Helen Grau. We, who are your grandchildren, will carry on the survivors' legacy to prove to ourselves and to others that we can carry on your victory, as well as to memorialize those loved ones who perished in the Holocaust. We pledge to always remember who we are, where we came from, and also the traumas our grandparents endured and survived. We pledge to educate people of other ethnic, religious, and cultural groups about our grandparents' experiences. We pledge to commit to use lessons of the Holocaust to support justice, tolerance, peace, kindness, and compassion. And we pledge to accept survivors' memories and to pass them on to future generations.
שוכם במרומים, המצי מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את כל הנשמות של 6 מיליוני היהודים. חלילה השואה באירופה, שנהרגו, שנשחטו, שנשרפו, ושנשפו על קידוש השם בידי המרצחים הנאצים ועוזריהם. לכן בעל הרחמים יסירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצא בצריחים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם, ויעמדו לגורלם לקץ הימים, ונאמר אמן. God, full of mercy, who dwells high, grant proper rest under the wings of the divine presence, in the great heights of the holy and pure, who, like the brilliance of the heavens, shine to all the souls of the 6 million Jews slain in the European Holocaust, who were killed and slaughtered and burned and destroyed in sanctification of God's name at the hands of the Nazi murderers and their assistants. Therefore, may the God of mercy shelter them in the shelter of God's wings for eternity, and bind their souls in the bond of life. The Almighty is their inheritance. May the Garden of Eden be their resting place, and may they stand for their destiny in the end of days. And let us say, Amen.
April 11th, 1945. The liberation of Buchenwald. I will never forget, wrote my father, the American soldiers and the horror that could be read in their faces. I will especially remember one black sergeant, a muscled giant, who wept tears of impotent rage and shame for the human species when he saw us. He spewed curses that on his lips became holy words. We tried to lift him onto our shoulders to show our gratitude, but we didn't have the strength. We were too weak even to applaud him. Gratitude. It was a defining feature for my father. He told me it was the defining feature of Judaism. Yahadut, Judaism, literally means to give thanks. My father felt that gratitude for his liberators, and he felt that gratitude for our country. I will never forget arguing with my father about the Supreme Court decision on flag burning as protected speech during the first Bush administration. Clear-eyed with the certainty that comes from being a freshman at college, I told him that the right to burn the flag was a truer expression of American principles than the flag itself could ever be. His response? It was one of the only times I can remember my father ever getting angry at me. "Do you know," he asked me, "what this flag means to the men who fought under it? Do you know what it means to the men who fought to liberate me? Do you know what this flag means to me?" The Supreme Court agreed with me by a 5-4 vote, but I had failed a test, in my father's eyes, of understanding gratitude. My father had been too weak to lift his liberator onto his shoulders or even to thank him. And here I was, healthy, well-fed, loved, protected, but without the ability to feel grateful for what I had. Was it my father who was among the walking dead at the moment of his liberation? Or was it me that was among the walking dead, focused only on myself, on my needs, on my belief that cold reason conquered all? I grew up surrounded by Holocaust survivors who were friends of my parents. They would hug me and pinch my cheeks and light up when they saw me, and I couldn't understand why they were so happy to see me. I wasn't their kid. It seemed so overdone. I didn't feel or understand gratitude. These people whose affection I accepted as something to be endured, whose relevance to me I struggled to comprehend, they were giants. Sigmund Strachlitz lost his entire family and remarried Rose, and they fought to make sure the Holocaust was remembered in the United States. Ben Mead evacuated partisans in the Warsaw Ghetto. Vladka Mead smuggled in gunpowder. They would speak late into the night with my parents, and I would ask to go watch the Yankees game on TV. I would watch my father daven every morning, wearing his talit, wrapping his tefillin, and I could not understand how this learned man who seemed to know so much could talk to someone who wasn't there. But my father was grateful to have a God to talk to, a tradition that he could be rooted in, a set of ancestral memories stretching back not only to his childhood in Siget, but thousands of years that came before. There is so much I did not understand. But now I have children of my own. And when I see them sing Shabbat songs around the Friday night dinner table, I am sometimes overcome by gratitude that my father got to know them and that they got to know him. And when their cousins or friends join in and sing a harmony or get lost in the discussion and joy that is a Shabbat meal in our home, I am moved powerfully by the knowledge that the Jewish people will continue. Do they see me being so moved, and do they wonder, as I did, why their very being could mean as much to me as it does? Or will they too have to find their own way to an understanding of just how precious each and every moment is? I am almost 50 now, and on this Yom HaShoah I want to tell you that I am grateful. I am grateful that I am alive to make my own mistakes, of which there are many. I am grateful to the survivors who tell their stories so that I can appreciate just how improbable my existence is, how determined the enemy was to eradicate me. I am grateful for this country, so deeply divided yet so powerfully capable of change and growth and delivering on her ideals. I am grateful that the Jewish people have returned to our ancient homeland in Israel, that we survived wars and terror, and I know that we are not perfect, but I thank God that we are for the first time in 2,000 years again given agency, because we know what happened when we had no agency. I am grateful to have, though late in life, discovered the beauty of my tradition, the curiosity and thirst for knowledge that comes with being the people of the book. There are those who will tell us that these things, America, Israel, the concept of a Jewish people, the intricacies of Jewish practice, they will tell us that these things are all deeply flawed to the point of having no value. I am grateful to live in a world where we can disagree civilly about that. And I am grateful to know that they are wrong.
Tata mi kaže nemoj govoriti, samo sviraj harmoniku, sviraj harmoniku i pjesme pjeva. Tata mi kaže nemoj govoriti, samo sviraj harmoniku, sviraj harmoniku i pjesme pjeva. Ne znam zašto bježim, pa šta sam učinila. Samo sviram harmoniku, sviram harmoniku harmonicui pies me pieva. Moja mila majka, sama je ostala, a ja sviram harmoniku, sviram harmoniku i suze lije.
Every year at this moment, I think about my grandparents, Benjamin Weltman, who was liberated from Dachau in May of 1945, and Gerda Weltman, who fled Vienna with her family just 2 months after Kristallnacht. They are both alive today, remembering so many who perished, while finding hope in the generations of the future. Today we grieve not only for those who are lost to individual families, but also to the entire Jewish people. We stand for a communal Kaddish, reciting a fraction of the names of ghettos and killing centers where our loved ones were murdered. I'm honored to be joined by my fellow colleagues. If you're able, everyone, please stand.
Yekadal, Auschwitz-Birkenau Buna, Baranovka Bergen-Belsen.
Viet Gadash, Belzec, Bialystok, Baba Yar, Shemay Rabbi,
Bochnia, Bogdanovk, Buchenwald, Bealma Divra Kirute,
Chelno, Krakow, Dachau, V'yamlich Malchute,
Dakovo, Danica, Dora, Bechayechon, Uviomechon,
Tumanovka, Ebensi, Edineti, Flossenburg,
Bechaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael,
Grossrosen, Gunkirchen, Gers, Ba'agala, Uvizman, Kariv,
Herzogenbusch, Lassi, Jadovno, Kaiserwald, V'imru, Amen.
Yehei Shmei, Rabba, Mivarach, Le'olam Ulalmei Almaya.
Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Kamenetz, Podolsky, Kishinev, Kovno, Kluga.
Viet Poar, Viet Romam, Lodz, Lubin, Lublin, Lvov, Lyons.
Viet Nassau, Viet Hadar, Majdanek, Mauthausen, Minsk, Natzweiler, Stutthof, Neuen, Gamma.
Viet Alev, Viet Halal, Ordorf, Plashov, Papenburg, Ponari.
Shmei, Dekudesha, Brechu, Prague, Radom, Ravensbrück, Ramsdorf, Riga.
Le'ela, Sachsenburg, Sachsenhausen, Santaba, Shaul Iyai.
Mikol Birchata V'Shirata,
Skarskova, Kamenia, Sobibor,
Tushbachata, V'Nechemata,
Theresienstadt, Transnistria, Treblinka, Vaivara.
Damiran Be'alma,
Vilna, Warsaw, Zimun, Zhytomyr,
and the scores of other camps.
V'imru, Amen.
Hey Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya.
V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Osei Shalom Bimramav.
Hu Ya'aseh Shalom.
Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael.
V'imru. Amen.
Sag nicht kein Molas, du gehst im letzten Weg. Chotsch himlem bleiene, verschieben bleiete. Kommen weg noch unser Reis gedenkte Schuh. Set ab heut und unser Tat mir seinen Jo. Kommen weg noch unser Reis gedenkte Schuh. Set ab heut und unser Tat mir seinen Jo.
Never say this is the final road for you. The leaden skies may cover over days of blue, as the hour that we long for is so near. Hast vita the message be I hear, as the hour that we long for is so near. Hast vita the message be I hear. The early morning sun will brighten our day, and yesterday with the foe will fade away. But if the sun delays and evenings remain, this song is past for generations must maintain. But if the sun delays and evenings remain, this song is past for generations must maintain. Therefore never say the road now ends for you. Though leaden skies may cover over days of blue, as the hour that we long for is so near, our steps beat out the message be I hear. As the hour that we long for is so near, our steps beat out the message we are here.
My name is Ron Halber, and I'm the Executive Director of the JCRC of Greater Washington. The JCRC has organized our community-wide Yom HaShoah commemoration for decades. It is always one of the most moving days of the year for me. Thank you to all of our survivors, their children and grandchildren for participating in our second virtual commemoration. When we made the last-minute decision to host a virtual commemoration last year, we never thought we would still be physically distanced a whole year later. But here we are today, on this most sacred day, honoring our survivors and those who perished. Throughout the year, we bring Holocaust survivors from our Speakers Bureau to local schools to speak to students about their lives and the importance of combating hatred. We train our young leaders to educate their peers about what it means to be a Jewish teenager today as part of our student-to-student program. We fight anti-Semitism and bigotry in our communities and schools. And we lobby in 3 jurisdictions to increase Holocaust education and secure government funding for the agencies who provide critical services for Washington area survivors. Thank you to the clergy, musicians, speakers, and JCRC leadership and staff for bringing us together for today's meaningful program. Thank you to our commission members and co-chairs Ellen Blaylock, Ira Bartfield, Albert Bloomfield, and Ron Paul, who is also our board president. And a special note of gratitude to our keynote speaker, Alicia Wiesel. After a year of challenges and physical distance, a remarkable resilience has emerged in our community. Together, Jewish Greater Washington has demonstrated strength, unity, and hope. So it is fitting that we conclude yet another virtual Yom HaShoah commemoration on a hopeful note. Please join in as we sing Hatikva.
Today's Holocaust Remembrance Ceremony, Unto Every Person There Is a Name, is being held in conjunction with similar ceremonies around the world. B'nai Brit, in cooperation with Yad Vashem, coordinates this name reading program in the United States. In our area, the name reading occurs in the time right before the community-wide Yom HaShoah commemoration. This year, once again, given the extraordinary circumstances, we are going to read at a different time, in order to give ample respect to the memories of the victims. Students from Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School, Melvin J. Berman Hebrew Academy, Gesher Jewish Day School, and Milton Gottsman Jewish Day School are honored to be reading the names this year. Today we meet to remember the victims of the Shoah. Unto every person there is a name, gives names back to those who were stripped of their identities before they were robbed of their lives. By reciting their names, ages, and birthplaces, we remember that each victim was an individual, a son or daughter, a sister or brother, a child or parent. Each had hopes and dreams, and, like all people, each life was precious. We, the living, bear witness today, not just here, but in communities around the world. Together we affirm that the innocent lives lost in the Holocaust have not and will not be forgotten. Their names will always be remembered.
Yitzchak Erster, from Poland, was killed in Auschwitz in 1943 at the age of 25. Moshe Balsam, from Poland, was killed in Bergen-Belsen in 1945 at the age of 26. Georges Bodenheimer, from France, was killed in Auschwitz on March 10, 1944, at the age of 40. Elimelech Boimelgren, from Poland, was killed in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 34. Gita Bosis, from the USSR, was killed in Ulanov, Ukraine, USSR, in 1942 at the age of 50. Oster Borshpoljiskaya, from the USSR, was killed in Babi Yar in 1941 at the age of 71. Lajbel Bornstein, from Poland, was killed in Auschwitz in 1942 at the age of 64. Regina Buzyn, from Poland, was killed in Treblinka in 1943 at the age of 64. Yitzhak Banim, from Belgium, was killed in Auschwitz on January 5, 1943 at the age of 52. Michal Bernberg, from Poland, was killed in Belziv in 1942 at the age of 26. Yuri Berger, from Hungary, was killed in Russia, USSR, in 1944 at the age of 23. Samuel Berlin, from Austria, was killed in Auschwitz in 1943 at the age of 39. Fega Blank, from the USSR, was killed in Berdichev, Ukraine, USSR, in 1941 at the age of 73.
Ilanka Romer, age 38, lived in Yugoslavia, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Jonas Renner, age 52, lived in Romania, killed in Ukraine in 1942. Rudolf Schanzer, age 22, lived in Poland, killed in USSR in 1941. Samuel Solomon, age 27, lived in Poland, killed in Krakow, Poland in 1942. Ben Salomon, age 21, lived in Romania, killed in Tarnopol, Poland in 1943. Salman Simonovitz, age 51, lived in Czechoslovakia, killed in Bergen-Belsen in 1944. Bernie Speyer, age 46, lived in Germany, killed in Auschwitz in November 1944. Batshevers Rost, age 49, lived in Poland, killed in Sobibor in 1942. Sandor Klein, age 59, lived in Hungary, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Katalin Klein, age 59, lived in Hungary, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Benjamin Cabrin, age 64, lived in Poland, killed in Berezia, Poland in 1942. Shine Cabrin, age 60, lived in Poland, killed in Berezia, Poland in 1942. Gershon Cabran, age 31, lived in Poland, killed in Berezia, Poland in 1942.
Dina Blank,
36, USSR, killed in Ukraine in 1941. Leb Blank, 61, USSR, killed in Ukraine 05/11/1941. Fermetta Blinbaum, 22, France, killed in Auschwitz 1943. Raquel Braun, 32, Czechoslovakia, killed in Auschwitz 1944. Samuel Brand, 18, Poland, killed in Belzec in 1942. Katja Bradbart, 50, Netherlands, killed in Sobibor in 1943. Ellie Gunk, 45, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Aaron Gorodensky, 50, USSR, killed in Minsk, Belarusia in 1943. Batsheva Gelis, 22, Romania, killed in Transnistria in 1942. Abraham Gronteman, 20, Netherlands, killed in Sobibor 04/06, 1943. Kalman Grunberg, 54, Romania, killed in Romania 01/06, 1944. Usher Grunberg, 64, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1942.
Zlata Korpiszpan, Efim Polyak, Smrol Zislin, Rosa Zislin, Bella Zislin, Judith Zislin, Zalman Zislin, Raya Zislin, Yankel Zislin, Sor Zislin, Roka Zislin.
Rizel Sistovsky, age 54, from Poland, killed in Polesi, Poland, in November 1941. Bension Papo, age 39, from Yugoslavia, killed in Yugoslavia in 1941. Batsheva Polak, age 46, from Romania, killed in Auschwitz in May 1944. Alter Portnoy, age 42, from the USSR, killed in Ukraine in May 1942. Yakov Portnoy, age 38, killed in the USSR in 1944. Fanny Porges, age 54, from Yugoslavia, killed in Auschwitz in November 1944. Bension Fabrikant, age 36, from the USSR, killed in Gomel, Belarus in 1942. Batsua Frowasser, age 39, from Poland, killed in Polesi, Poland, 1941. Joshua Fischer, age 66, from Hungary, killed in Auschwitz in May 1944. Helena Viet, age 75, from Germany, killed in Czechoslovakia in September 1942. Bension Fetterman, age 19, from Poland, killed in Auschwitz 1944. Batsheva Frucht, age 23, from Poland, killed in Treblinka 1942. Kiva Kapustin, age 61, from the USSR, killed in Rechista, Belarus, 1941.
Pesha Kramer, age 58, from the Soviet Union, killed in Basavishi, Belarusia in 1941. Kasha Rubinchik, age 47, from the Soviet Union, killed in Svilash, Belarusia in 1941. Natalie Israel, age 76, from Germany, killed in Czechoslovakia on August 5, 1945. Clara Goffman, age 39, from the Soviet Union, killed in Odessa, Ukraine in 1941. Hirsch Gradovichik, age 67, from Poland, killed in Treblinka in 1942. Yosef Yisvaki, age 33, from the Soviet Union, killed in Orel, Russia in 1943. Yafim Volodansky, age 36, from the Soviet Union, killed in Ukraine 1941. Lazar Reisman, age 35, from the Soviet Union, killed in Voronezh, Russia 1942. Esther Gishman, age 33, from Poland, killed in Stanislaw, Poland
on November 5th, 1942. David Schechter, age 20, from Poland, killed in Stanislaw, Poland, on November 5th, 1942. Fiula Frister, age 42, from Poland, killed in Stanislaw, Poland, in 1942. Vega Schechter, age 53, from Poland, killed in Stanislaw, Poland, on November 5th, 1942. Ita Bizenstock, age 37, from Poland, killed in Communal in 1942.
Noda Zislin, Ida Zislin, Simon Zislin, Liba Zislin, Udal Zislin, Isaac Zislin, Chaya Sachs, Simcha Farkas, Brenna Farkas, Rachel Farkas, Shmuel Farkas, Malia Farkas.
Adolf Farkas, 38, was born in Hungary, killed in Germany in 1944. Des Farkas, 44, born in Romania, killed in Auschwitz, June 1st, 1944. Lily Farkas, 32, Romania, was killed in Auschwitz in 1944. User Volkenflig, 25, born in Romania, killed in Novoselicia, Romania, on July 1st, 1941. Rachmiel Volkenflik, 52, born in Poland, killed in Treblinka in October 1st, 1943. Grisha Fudeman, 30, born in the USSR, killed in Venkovci, Ukraine, on May 1st, 1942. Yelena Fudeman, 43, born in the USSR, killed in Vinkovci, Ukraine, on August 1st, 1941. Shmuel Fudeman, 18, born in the USSR, killed in Ukraine, 1943. Here's Fudricki, 39, born in Poland, killed in the Slonim Ghetto, 1942. Hein Fuchs, 22, born in Poland, killed in Sarnaki, Poland, on August 22nd, 1942. Lieb Fuchs, 62, born in Poland, killed in Otwock, Poland, 1940. Ephraim Furman, 18, born in Romania, killed in Transnistria, 1941. Rivka Finger, 30, born in Poland, killed in Poland, January 1st, 1939.
Azik Gottlieb, 53, Poland, killed in Roatan, Poland, 1942. Yanko Lerman, 48, USSR, killed in Luzhny, Ukraine, 1941. Roka Lerman, 44, USSR, Luzhny, Ukraine, 1941. Hendel Gottlieb, 30, Poland, killed in Roatan, Stanislaw, Poland, 1942. Moishe Gottlieb, 28, Poland, killed in Roatan, Stanislaw, Poland, 1942. Marguerite Alexander, 49, Netherlands, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Sosia Kreimer, 56, USSR, killed in Gaysen-Vittenag, Ukraine, 1941. Abram Itin, 38, USSR, killed in Königsberg, East Prussia, Germany, March 13th, 1945. Yanko Kreimer, 60, USSR, Gaysen, Ukraine, 1941. Israel Rabinovich, 61, USSR, killed in Gorky Burslo, Russia, October 6th, 1941. Pavel Rabinovich, 19, USSR, killed in Gorky, Belarusia, October 6th, 1941. Abram Rabinovich, 19, USSR, Stalingrad, Russia, 1943. Abram Borisov, 58, USSR, killed in Babi Yar, September 30th, 1941.
Hinda Schwarzkopf, Szydlowitz, Poland, killed in Treblinka. Avram El-Grabli, 39, from Casablanca, born in 1894, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Vaiga Hirsch Epstein, Skalit, Ukraine, killed in 1943. Abraham Don, 71, Mościska, Poland, born in 1871, killed in Belchek in 1942. Jakob Herschel Don, 33, Mościska, born on June 3, 1909, killed in Belchek in 1942. Eva Paper, 63, Netherlands, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Philip Paper, 65, Netherlands, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Bertha Plotchek, 42, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Malak Plotchek, 45, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Mnicha Pravildo, 48, Poland, killed in Kalushin, Poland in 1942. Tauba Pristine, 68, Poland, killed in Riga, Latvia in 1941. Movsha Pristine, 68, Poland, killed in Riga, Latvia in 1941. Jenia Prenska, 48, Poland, killed in Białystok, Poland on February 1, 1944. Suap Shigoda, 60, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Yisrael Shigoda, 60, Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Aaron Faust, 67, Poland, killed in Sendishev, Poland in 1942. Rachel Thong, 50, Poland, killed in Belchek in 1942. Hermina Teufel, 71, Hungary, killed in Auschwitz in 1944.
Yanko Wasserman, age 41, from USSR, killed in Chudnov, Ukraine, 1941. Batsheva Feldman, age 70, from Hungary, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Josephine Weiss, age 71, from Hungary, killed in Auschwitz, July 5, 1944. Benjamin Friedman, age 27, from Poland, killed in Leningrad, Russia, September 2, 1942. Alter Manovich, age 23, from USSR, killed in Belorussia, 1941. Benzion Sandler, age 34, from Poland, killed in Leningrad, Russia, July 21, 1942. Benzion Spielberg, age 28, from USSR, killed in Lodz, Poland, March 24, 1942. Eva Sekli, age 30, from Romania, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Abram Niazu, age 61, from Poland, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Avram Rossman, age 21, from Poland, killed in Treblinka, 1942. Moshe Spazman, age 18, from Poland, killed in Treblinka, 1942. Meyer Breskler, age 35, from Poland, killed in Treblinka, 1942. Robert Rado, age 69, from Yugoslavia, killed in Auschwitz, 1944.
Malka Farkas, Liber Farkas, Gitel Mariam Pearl, Avram Chaim Ingber, Hirschlieb Ingber, Henya Ingber, Esther Ingber, Mordecai Ingber, Sismon Gendelman, Fruma Gendelman, Ruvim Gendelman, Isaac Gendelman.
Anshel Camille, 30, Austria, killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Shlomo Kirshen, 52, Austria, killed in Zborov, Poland, 1943. Jenny Rappaport, 42, Poland, killed in Belzec in 1942. Vigdor Schwartz, 60, Poland, killed in Buchach, Poland in 1943. Regina Stadfeld, 62, Poland, killed in Gorlice, Poland in 1942. Fega Stein, 21, Pakanov, killed in Belzec in 1942. Sidonia Stein, 90, Austria, killed in Yugoslavia in 1940. Rose Steinberg, 55, Germany, killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Chaya Steinlauf, 43, Poland, killed in Belzec in 1942. Hava Sternberg, 36, Romania, killed in Transnistria in 1941. Jacob Shmulevich, 61, Poland, killed in Lovich, Poland, 1941. Jacob Goldman, 29, Poland, killed in Arkhangelsk, Russia, in 1942. Eleonora Amarati, 48, Greece, killed in Auschwitz in 1943.
Lubov Lvov, age 78, lived in the USSR and was killed in Babi Yar in 1943. Maytek Ilembek was 34, lived in Poland, and was killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Sala Alembek was 20 years old, lived in Poland, and was killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Severin Alembek was 33, lived in Poland, and was killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Semyon Berezovsky was 65, lived in the USSR, and was killed in Ukraine in 1941. Bela Berezovsky was 45, lived in the USSR, and was killed in Ukraine in 1941. Kaya Rabinovich was 61, lived in the USSR, and was killed in Ukraine in 1941. Hugo Meyer was 78 years old, lived in Germany, and was killed in France in 1942. Boris Kuturutsky was 39, lived in the USSR, and was killed in Ukraine in 1943. Chiel Akerman was 61, lived in Poland, and was killed in Poland in 1941. Gedali Akerman was 31, lived in Poland, and was killed in Belzec in 1941. Avram Gazovsky was 49, lived in the USSR, and was killed in Ukraine in 1941. Jacob Newberg was 29, lived in Poland, and was killed in Poland in 1941.
Leib Rachman, age 41, from USSR, killed in Kirovograd, Ukraine in 1941. Samuel Berman, age 55, from Poland, killed in Warsaw, Poland, 1943. Benzian Kleiner, age 67, Poland, killed in Rovno-Wolin, Poland, in 1941. Ruvim Paripsky, age 30, from the USSR, killed in Orel, Russia, 1942. Yom Tov Benuel, age 46, from France, killed in Auschwitz in 1942. Leonid Amiton, age 20, USSR, killed in Orel, Russia in 1943. Meda Frischauer, age 47, from Germany, killed in Poland in 1942. Aaron Lewin, age 77, from Netherlands, killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Isaac Golenzer, age 55, from Poland, killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Batsheva Albin, age 35, from Poland, killed in Słusty Wieś, Tarnopol, Poland, in 1942. Laser Katznelson, age 19, from the USSR, killed in Leningrad, Russia, in 1941. Moish Postolov, age 30, from the USSR, killed in Odessa, Ukraine, in 1941. Fania Rabinovich, age 62, from the USSR, killed in Minsk, Belarusia, in 1942.
Yedel Gutman, age 22, lived in Romania, killed in Mogilev, Ukraine in 1942. Rachel Galbart, age 40, lived in Poland, killed in Auschwitz 1942. Jacob Dayan, age 30, born in Lithuania, killed in Petroshan, Lithuania in 1941. Ephraim Veinman, age 35, lived in USSR, killed in Vinkovsky, Ukraine in 1942. Clara Weinstein, age 48, lived in Czechoslovakia, killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Vega Weisberg, age 18, lived in Romania, killed in Mogilev, Ukraine in 1944. Bezla Krobolowski, age 40, lived in Poland, killed in Majdanek in 1941. Erzsébet Tufel, age 32, lived in Hungary, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Hedwig Tuch, age 25, lived in Germany, killed in Riga, Latvia in 1941. Hinda Kirschenbaum, age 59, lived in Czechoslovakia, killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Jacob Tenenbaum, age 45, lived in Poland, killed in Mauthausen in 1944. Jonas Tenenbaum, age 47, lived in Poland, killed in Poland in 1943. Nathan Triebfeder, age 66, lived in Austria, killed in Italy in 1944.
Stephanie Arnold, age 32, lived in Poland and killed in Belzec in 1942. Frederick Arnold, age 42, lived in Poland and killed in Lvov, Poland in 1943. Cecile Arnold, age 53, lived in Poland and killed in Lvov, Poland in 1943. Elise Botton, age 70, lived in France and killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Raphael Botton, age 67, lived in France and killed in Auschwitz in 1943. Sammy Button, age 41, lived in France and killed in Lieberstadt, Magdeburg, Saxony Province, Germany in 1945. Lazar Rubinstein, age 42, lived in the USSR and killed in Latvia in August 1944. Hajnal Grossman, age 32, lived in Hungary and killed in Auschwitz in May 1944. Yakov Lukatsky, age 25, lived in the USSR and killed in Voronezh, Russia in 1942. Olga Grossman, age 34, lived in Hungary and killed in Auschwitz in 1944. Hanan Katz, age 36, lived in the USSR and killed in Odessa, Ukraine in July 1941. David Mazur, age 30, lived in Romania and killed in Soroka, Romania in July 1941. Huna Mazur, age 36, lived in Romania and killed in Soroka, Bessarabia, Romania in July 1941.
Basia Deich, 50, USSR, Vinnytska, Ukraine, April 1942. Elizabeth Hoste, 25, Netherlands, Auschwitz, 1943. Aaron Vos Diaz, 60, Netherlands, Theresienstadt, May 1945. Benzian Weinkrantz, 30, Poland, Treblinka, January 1943. Mario Viroli D., 33, Italy, Warsaw, June 1944. Itka Verkhovsky, 64, USSR, Smolensk, Russia, October 1941. Manya Chavin, 36, USSR, Osipovichi, Belarusia, 1941. Nisim Israel, 70, Italy, Auschwitz, 1944. Benzion Kahan, 22, Poland, Kauno, Lithuania, 1941. Mazaltov Cohen, 45, France, Auschwitz, June 1943. Moti Lichman, 64, Poland, Sobibor, 1942. Joseph Lilienbaum, 34, France, Majdanek, March 1943. Miriam Lieber, 52, Poland, Treblinka, October 1942. Zvi Gendelman, killed in 1942. Chana Gendelman, killed in 1942. Leah Gendelman, killed in 1942. David Gendelman, killed in 1942. Elka Gendelman, born in 1855, killed in 1942. Aaron Burko, killed in 1942. Chana Burko, killed in 1942. Isaac Burko, killed in 1942. Moses Burko, killed in 1942. Chaya Burko, killed in 1942. Sosia Shapiro, born in 1905, killed in 1942. Abraham David Geller.
Lazar Mirkin, Sarah Mirkin, Boris Mirkin, Grisha Mirkin, Azia Mirkin, Yaakov Shor, Ilya Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Ekaterina Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Julia Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Musia Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Chaya Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Gersh Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941. Gregory Eichenbaum, killed in Ukraine October 13, 1941.
Vania Armiach, Dora Armiach, Ita Melman, David Melman, Shuvim Melman, Abram Kaminkap, Riva Kamenov, Zachar Kaminkap, Hannah Lipschitz, Ephraim Lipschitz, Sophia Lipschitz.
Riva Rosenfeld, Devora Korenvein, Rachel Goshevich, Shaul Valinsky, Hillel Giller, Charles Giller, Nathan Giller, Dobra Hinda Bimka, Abraham Tashinsky and family, Daniel Giller,
Pesach Bergman, David Bergman, Sarah Salka Bergman, Bronek Bergman, Miron Schreibstein, Emmanuel Schreibstein, Clara Olfman, Abram Karunsky, Iona Kipnis, Sonia Rude, Yosef Rude, Anna Rude, Israel Grinberg.
Moshe Alper, David Galper, Sophia Aptekar Igolnikova, age 30, killed in 1941 in Babi-Yar. Semen Igolnikov, age 30, killed in 1941 in Babi-Yar. Galina Igolnikova, age 4, killed in 1941 at Babi-Yar. Seema Lerner, killed in 1941 at Babi-Yar. Unknown name, Lerner, age 28, killed in 1941 at Babi-Yar. Hasya Shapiro, Chaim Shapiro, Genya Nyman, Chaya Shapiro, Fenya Nyman, Naftali Nyman, Anna Nyman.
George Levy, age 43, lived in France and died in Germany on February 18, 1945. Lubov Levin, age 56, lived in the USSR and died in Russia on January 7, 1941. David Lukowicz, age 22, lived in Poland and died in Poland in 1941. Max Kahn, age 76, lived in Germany and died in France in 1941. Deso Lorinx, age 43, lived in Romania and died in Auschwitz in 1944. Benzion Mazur, age 38, lived in the USSR and died in Russia on September 22, 1943. Ben Zion Mazur, age 38, lived in the USSR and died in Russia on September 22, 1943. Benzion Mahmoud, age 44, lived in the USSR and died in Ukraine in 1941. Jolan Marcus, age 41, lived in Hungary and died in Auschwitz in 1944. Chaim Musman, age 52, lived in Poland and died in Poland in 1942. Avraham Neubauer, age 45, lived in Czechoslovakia and died in Auschwitz in 1944. Sarah, age 25, lived in Poland and died in Poland on June 23, 1943. Beren Soysen, age 59, lived in the Netherlands and died in Auschwitz in 1944.
Dina Rosenkrantz Kluger, Ruben Kluger, Tony Kluger, Minka Kluger, Rosie Kluger, Gertie Kluger, Rosa Reese Kluger Geller, Peppy Kluger Bauer, Herman Bauer, Leo Birsch Bauer, David Kluger, Cecilia Kluger.
Suzanne Amarachi, age 24, place of residence Greece, killed in Auschwitz, 1943. Solomon Amarachi, age 30, place of residence Greece, killed in Auschwitz, 1943. Prosper Araus, age 20, place of residence France, killed in Auschwitz, 1942. Ferenc Unger, age 21, place of residence Yugoslavia, killed in Auschwitz, 1945. Rachel Uzorowicz, age 63, place of residence Poland, killed in Piotrkowo-Trybunalski, Poland, January 10th, 1942. Fanny Eichenhauser, age 22, place of residence Netherlands, killed in Bergen-Belsen, June 31st, 1945. Wolf Eidelstein, age 58, place of residence Odessa, killed in Izhevnoye, Russia, 1942. Raquel Ezra, age 65, killed in place of residence Greece, killed in Auschwitz, 1943. Irmgard Oelsner, age 29, place of residence Germany, killed in Auschwitz, 1943. Malka Engelman, age 31, place of residence Romania, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Naftal Engel, age 39, place of residence Poland, killed in Trzewinki Lublin, Poland, June 1st, 1943. Ignác Entin, age 42, place of residence Hungary, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Mendel Erechmak, age 39, place of residence Poland, killed in Dolfi, Poland, 1942.
Anna Luri, age 53, Estonia, killed in Tallinn, Estonia, 1941. Kuba Brainin, age 35, Poland, killed in Riga, Latvia, in 1941. Arkady Luri, age 29, Estonia, killed in Tallinn, Estonia, in 1941. Bailey Permel, age 44, Poland, killed in Stutov camp in 1944. Valentina Klompus, age 23, Estonia, killed in Tallinn, Estonia in 1941. Asna Blyden, age 45, Poland, killed in Riga, Latvia in 1941. Israel Liepertz, age 49, Poland, killed in Liepāja, Latvia in 1941. Chaim Katz, age 43, USSR, killed in Bobroysk Mogilev, Belarusia, USSR in 1941. Lena Stern, age 77, Germany, killed in Theresienstadt, Czechoslovakia in 1944. Sally Stern, age 51, Germany, killed in Theresienstadt, Czechoslovakia in 1944. Flora Meyer, age 44, Germany, killed in Theresienstadt, Czechoslovakia in 1942. Rula Borzikowski, age 40, Poland, killed in Treblinka in 1942. Luba Borzikowski, age 19, Poland, killed in Treblinka in 1942.
Samuel Katz, 57, born in Poland, killed in Borislav, 1942. Samuel Katz, 42, born in Poland, killed in Belzec, 1942. Shandor Katz, 42, born in Rogovo, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Esther Cohen, 49, born in the Netherlands, killed in Auschwitz, December 10, 1942. Bluma Cohen, 58, born in Poland, killed in Lodz, 1943. Mari Cohen, 43, born in Greece, killed in Auschwitz, 1943. Roland Cohen, 22, born in Athens, killed in Germany, 1944. Jacques Cohen, 56, born in Poland, killed in Auschwitz, 1942. Leah Cohen, 50, born in Hungary, killed in Auschwitz, January 5, 1944. Chana Laub, 61, born in Poland, killed in Auschwitz, 1940. Nani Lazar, 25, born in Poland, killed in Majdanek, 1942. Erno Laumann, 46, born in Botnia, killed in Auschwitz, 1944.
Jenda Schickler, 70, USSR, killed in Ukraine, 1942. Mental Fitterman, 42, USSR, Ukraine, 1942. Gabriel Kantorovich, 32, USSR, killed in Belarusia, 1942. Meyer Barenbilt, 69, USSR, killed in Ukraine, 1942. Philip Yoffe, 20, Poland, killed in Latvia, 1941. Linder Pekar, 35, USSR, killed in Ukraine, 1942. Emmanuel Yoffe, 49, Poland, killed in Latvia, 1941. Chana Yoffe, 31, Poland, killed in Latvia in 1941. Schneier Yoffe, 38, Poland, killed in Latvia, 1941. Rachel Yoffe, 18, Poland, killed in Latvia, 1941. Ernst Stodek, 47, USSR, killed in Ukraine, 14/10/1942. Samuel Ernst, 36, Hungary, killed in Auschwitz, 1944. Aaron Entin, 63, USSR, killed in Russia, 30/11/1941.
Georgie Shapiro, age 26, lived in the USSR, killed in Russia, date of death, 1941. Genia Katz, age 40, lived in the USSR, killed in the USSR, date of death, 1941. Israel Varkovsky, age 36, lived in the USSR, killed in the USSR, date of death, May 12, 1942. Matza Binstock, age 27, lived in Poland, was killed in Sobibor in 1942. Gila Grauman, age 41, lived in Poland, was killed in Sobibor in 1942. Moses Krems, age 52, lived in Poland, was killed in Poland in 1942. Oisif Shamus, age 20, lived in the USSR, was killed in the USSR June 27, 1944. Abraham Krems, age 26, lived in Poland, was killed in Poland in 1942. Chaim Einbinder, age 28, lived in Poland, was killed in Poland in 1941. Simcha Einbinder, also age 28, lived in Poland, was killed in Treblinka in 1942. Baruch Kling, age 48, lived in the USSR and was killed in Ukraine on July 12, 1943. Maria Kling, age 42, lived in the USSR, was killed in Ukraine on January 9, 1942. Basia Kling, age 44, lived in the USSR, killed in Ukraine on January 9, 1942.
Miksa Kiss from Yugoslavia, killed in Budapest, Hungary at age 57 in 1944. Libby Kleinman from Poland, killed in Belchek at age 25 in 1942. Flora Nobleman from the USSR, killed in Odessa, Ukraine at age 53 in 1941. Elka Krupani from Poland, killed at age 48 on January 20th, 1943. Jakub Krystal from Poland, killed in Chełmno at age 18 in 1941. Burl Rodansky from Lithuania, killed in Kaunas, Lithuania, at age 36 in 1943. Alexander Rawicz from Poland, killed in Warsaw, Poland, at age 28 in 1943. Gita Larovkin from Poland, killed in Rovna, Poland, at age 45 on November 7, 1941. Moishe Rosenblum from Poland, killed in Majdanek, at age 40 in 1943. Yosef Rozher from the USSR, killed in the Ukraine at age 42 in 1942. Brana Rucher from the USSR, killed in Kamenetsk-Podilsk, Ukraine, at age 42 in 1942. Burl Rittman from Poland, killed in Vilna, Poland, at age 36 in 1942. Tara Rechnitzer from Hungary, killed in Auschwitz at age 71 in 1944.
Shaya Guzovsky, 41, USSR, killed in Armavir, Russia, 1942. Yitzhak Najman, 56, Poland, Treblinka, 1942. Perla Najman, 55, Poland, killed in Treblinka, 1942. Masha, 28, USSR, killed in Radomshil, Zhytomyr, Ukraine, 1941. Erno Grossman, 34, Hungary, killed in Stalino, Ukraine, January 13th, 1943. Chaim Grünwald, 51, Romania, Provincia Bizarabia, Romania, 1941. Tony Grünwald, 50, Romania, Provincia Bessarabia, Romania, 1941. Velvel Kazan, 53, USSR, Yumivoka, Nesbedroskva, Ukraine, 1942. Clara Adler, 47, Germany, Riga, Latvia, 1941. Rakhil Kazan, 40, USSR, killed in Yumivoka, Dnepropetrovsk, Ukraine, 1942. Mina Friedberger, 47, Germany, killed in Riga, Latvia, 1941. Hermann Einstein, 62, Germany, killed in Stuttgart, Wittenberg, Germany, 1940. Laura Arnold, 53, Poland, Lwów, Poland, 1943.